so thoughtful of you to wake me from my slumber. I'd hate to think I was missing anything. But wait, you're not afraid, are you? After all, it's not like I'm a complete stranger, is it? There's an old saying, all good things must come to an end. What about the bad things? Apparently, not so much. Let's not lose our heads now. I can't tell you how refreshing it is to be amongst the living once again. However temporary this condition might be. Why not come with me for a little ride? I'd like to take you to see some of my old friends, and maybe some of your old friends too. It was so thoughtful of you to wake me from my slumber. I'd hate to think I was missing anything. But wait, you're not afraid, are you? After all, it's not like I'm a complete stranger, is it?
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I'm just going to be doing a quick review of the CVS 2014 animated Headless Horseman. So this is a prop that I did a demo of on my channel a very long time ago, and I just kind of wanted to revisit him because he is super duper cool. He was broken for last Halloween. He broke like, I don't know, a couple days before Halloween. Because where we used to keep our props, there was a rat in there, and can't really see it, but there's a wire that runs through his sleeve and into his hand right here to power the pumpkin right here, and the rat had just totally chewed through that. So I got him out. By some miracle, the light worked for a little bit. But then, I would say like a week or two maybe before Halloween, the cable just finally fully ripped and he stopped working. So that was very disappointing. So what I ended up doing was, I was originally just going to try to put these wires back together, but that was very hard to do, and I ended up not being able to do it in time for Halloween, so I just excluded him into my display. And I will say, my animated zombie horse that I have definitely looked kind of sad without him, because I normally have them together in the display. I will actually kind of like shove the reins for the horse through his hand right here with this, so that it looks like he's holding the reins. It's really creepy. But unfortunately, I did not have that, which was sad. But just a couple of days ago, I actually unscrewed this pumpkin right here from that base, from the base on the hand, and then I was able to access the wire and strip it and put it back together and everything, so now it fully works. Although I don't know where the connector is, it was just totally chewed off, so now this pumpkin is permanently wired to him. You can't disconnect it. But yeah, so let's just get started with his detail, because in my opinion, this is his best part, especially considering that he is a CVS animatronic. He is so detailed. So first off, starting off on the pumpkin right here, I absolutely love how burnt it looks. It's a very cool and creepy, like black kinda, black and then a darker orange around the areas where he's carved. It looks like burnt and rotten and very creepy. Also, I'm sorry, I really should have moved him here. I'm recording by a window, and the light is not great. I apologize for that, but anyway, I love that look. It really adds to him. And And then over here, for some reason, all pumpkins made by Pan Asian Creations look very strange. They have these little dots all over them. I don't know why Pan Asian Creations decides to do that, but on literally every pumpkin they have ever made, it has that kind of pattern. Don't know why they did that. I find it a little bit strange, but that's fine. The stem is also not brown, which bothers me just a teensy bit, but it's really nothing noticeable, so it should be fine. Then, if we go in here, he has like some creepy cloth, cheesecloth, whatever you want to call it, and then this cool kind of like sparkly plastic, which it only really shows up in sunlight except when the light is on, like inside the pumpkin, then it gives off a really cool effect. Yeah, so then if we move over here, you know, creepy sharp teeth, absolutely love that. But yeah, so the pumpkin is very creepy. I love, it's honestly kind of unique how it looks. It's something that we really haven't seen before in terms of that burnt, rotten look. Love that. Moving on, he has this kind of axe here. I love this. Again, it has kind of like a metal look, and then it has that like kind of blood stain on there. That's very creepy. And then over here, he also has some more blood. The one thing that I don't like about it, and this thing really bothers me, is that this thing right here, the kind of staff of it, has literally no detail to it at all. It's just kind of like a black tube. Also, it has that little made in China thing right there. I don't know if you can see it. It's engraved on there. God dang it. My camera really does not want to focus today. I'm kind of worried that it might be a little dirty. But there we go. So then, if we move on to right here, he has some really creepy, cool little like buttons right there. They just have some kind of creepy patterning. Absolutely love that. I think it really adds to the whole look. It's very creepy. Then if we move on to here, he has some creepy cloth right here, and a rip on his shirt that show his rib cage. Again, really nice touch. I absolutely love that. Then he has this belt here, which again just has some more engraving. That's really creepy. And then it's just made of fake leather. His clothing is this kind of red velvety material, and then up here where his neck piece is, it's just plain black. So then moving down, his pants are also just totally plain black. God dang it, dude, I hate the lighting so much right now. I'm definitely gonna move him for the demo. And then if we go over here, he has his boots, and then there's just a little leather piece on the pants that kind of hides the boots. Oopsie, sorry, I don't have my phone stabilizer today, so the video isn't going to be very stable. But because his boots, they're the exact same mold that they use for all their Santa boots, so it looks a little Christmassy, so I'm glad that they added in this. He also has a cape right here. Very creepy, nice touch. Mine has some holes in it from where the rat chewed. Yeah, he's so detailed. I mean, I could just go on and on about how creepy he is. I love this little detail of a neck piece. I didn't know about it before, so I just kind of had it just tucked down like that. But it looks really good if you pull it up. And then right here, he has this sensor. I thought that that was a sound sensor until a couple days ago when that actually kind of broke. So I had to go in there and redo some of the connections, and I also figured out that, yeah, you cannot see it in there, but there's a little thing that I was like totally not in that tube, it had kind of fallen out, but this is actually a motion sensor. So if the thing is properly glued into this little tube right here, then it will actually detect motion. It's not a very good one. It doesn't work in the dark, and it doesn't detect from that far away, and also, literally, if I don't have shoes on here, it will not detect me. I mean, it needs to be such a certain height, but that's fine, because most of it, I mean, obviously there are a lot of kids walking in my haunted trail, which is where this will be. This will not be in the haunted house, but there are also a lot of adults, so it will activate for them. Yeah, so, in terms of quality, he's a pretty basic Pan Asian prop. He has, now first of all, I just want to say I don't think these these types of bases are appreciated enough. They're so easy to assemble, and if you get some like big tent stakes from like a camping store or Walmart or whatever, then you can actually stake him down into the grass, which, considering that we use sandbags just because they're a little bit easier to transport, but I might start using stakes for props like him, because typically it isn't that windy on Halloween, but last year it was pretty windy. So I might need to start using that, but I love these kinds of bases. I mean, they're so stable, they're so easy to stake down. I don't know. Anyway, then he has just more metal poles. He has one right there. I'm not going to take him off of this right here, but he has just kind of a plastic body right here. These pants, if you want to, you can loop them around there. I'm not going to do that right now just because it doesn't add that much to his look. But if you wanted to, you totally could. Then, forgot to mention these. He has some skeletal hands right here, very creepy. But yeah, so he is pretty high quality. I mean, especially considering because he's not mechanical at all, this guy's gonna last you for a long time. I honestly think that the rat just kind of chewed through some of the wiring here, because I glued down this clothing myself, but it wasn't glued down before. But really, I don't think you'll have too many issues with him, or even any at all, if you get him. Now, he is pretty hard to find now. I don't think I'll put rare in the title of this video, just because he's not quite rare enough to warrant that. My god, dude, this lighting, sorry, it's annoying me. But he's still pretty hard to find. I do not see him pop up on eBay that often. I was pretty lucky to get this one. Yeah, he's really creepy. He has a try me button right here because he's a CVS prop. This sticker is unfortunately glued on, which I know if you're going to have this in like a haunted house situation where people are going to be really close to him, that is definitely going to be pretty annoying. But because I'm going to have him in the haunted trail, I don't think you're going to notice that, so I haven't taken the time to try and rip it off. Yeah, I also forgot to mention this. He is sound activated too. That's what I thought this was, but this is in fact the motion sensor. Don't know where his sound sensor is, but it's, again, not very good. I usually, in order to get it to activate, back when the motion sensor wasn't working, I would have to, like, tap his hand like that, or, like, flick the pumpkin or whatever, or just clap really close to his body. I'm sure if you, like, screamed, he would probably activate, but it's not that sensitive. So, yeah, try to get the motion sensor working. Super easy to do. You just have to rip off some hot glue, and then you can fold this up and access the motion sensor there. Yeah, so not really much else to say about detail or quality. He's a good quality prop, but he's a static prop, so that kind of matters less. I've always hated how Pain Asian Creations does their switches and battery things. It just does not, work. I guess, sorry, I accidentally pressed the, stop button there, but it just does not work very well, just because you have to reach in there and fumble around, and his battery cover is lost, as you can see, but that doesn't matter that much. I just put tape on it, and he has demo off and on mode, which I will put him in demo for now, just so that I can activate him once before I actually do the official demo here with the motion sensor on. But yeah, so I'll just go ahead and activate him and show you what he does. He is not that loud, but I actually kind of like that, because he isn't much of a centerpiece. He's just kind of a really cool background. So here, let me press the button.
I can't tell you how refreshing it is to be amongst the living once again. However temporary this condition might be. Why not come with me for a little ride? I'd like to take you to see some of my old friends, and maybe some of your old friends too.
So yeah, as you can see, he's a pretty cool prop. His phrases are a little bit cheesy, but they aren't that cheesy. I love his voice. I think it's pretty fitting. I know it doesn't make much sense considering that his head is cut off, because he technically wouldn't be able to speak, but he's possessed by a ghost and he's talking through the pumpkin. That's at least how the Headless Horseman works. So, Makes sense if you know the story. But anyway, he's really creepy. I love his voice. Now, this pumpkin right here, you couldn't really see that well in the video. In person, it's a little bit better. It's brighter and it shines through the eyes and stuff too. But in the dark, looks incredible. It's so perfect, and the lighting just like, it's so good. I don't know how to describe how awesome it is, but it is so cool. I'm not at my house right now, and where I am does not have curtains. So I can't like close my curtains or anything and show him in the dark, but you'll get to see that because he will 99% be up in my haunted trail when I do the official walkthrough, which, by the way, off topic, but this year I am going to try to do haunt build videos just because I have so much to get done this year, and I'm going to try to do both a daytime and a nighttime walkthrough of it. But we'll see how all that goes. Anyway, very cool. If the light in here breaks permanently, like, because I'm gonna try to keep going with the wire, because you can if you take this off, then you can just twist them together with electrical tape, and then I just added in a ton here to make sure that the wire stays down. But if that breaks permanently, the cool thing about this is, now, I didn't put the screws back in just because it's impossible to get them back on. I just put some hot glue on there, but I could just melt that, or, use some denatured alcohol to get that off. A little trick for you, by the way. But you can probably just put a color changing tea light in here and it will achieve the same effect. In my opinion, this is one of the, this is one of the best props, or Headless Horseman props, we have ever seen in the Halloween industry. Just because, like, the Grandin Road one with the flames coming out of his head was super cool, but I feel like most of them are pretty generic. And this one has a lot of detail and feels very classic, so I like it. But Home Depot has a Headless Horseman this year that also looks pretty sick. It's very similar to this one. In terms of pricing, he originally went for, like, I think $70-ish. I don't quite remember. I bought him for about $150, which was a pretty good price, considering how cool he looks at night with the fog and my animated horse from Home Depot. That is a very, very worth it price. So I will go ahead and stop this video and move him to some place with better lighting here so that I can get a demo with his motion sensor. So yeah, see you there. Alright, so I'm in a space with better lighting now. His motion sensor works from about 6 feet away, maybe? So yeah, I will just walk towards him here and show him all his phrases.
It was so thoughtful of you to wake me from my slumber. I'd hate to think I was missing anything. But wait, you're not afraid, are you? After all, it's not like I'm a complete stranger, is it?
So yeah, I will activate him again. Hello. There we go.
There's an old saying, all good things must come to an end. What about the bad things? Apparently, not so much. Let's not lose our heads now. I can't tell you how refreshing it is to be amongst the living once again. However temporary this condition might be. Why not come with me for a little ride? I'd like to take you to see some of my old friends, and maybe some of your old friends too.
So yeah, overall he is a pretty cool prop. I'm going to try to not activate him here. Definitely one that I'm glad to have in my collection, although that is with every prop that I own. And yeah, he's pretty cool. Sorry that the lighting wasn't great and that I do not have my phone stabilizer, so things are definitely going to be a little bit shaky here. I have very shaky hands. But yeah, overall, he is a pretty cool prop. Definitely, if you can find him for, I would say, under $200, definitely pick him up. He's a really cool one, and if you have the Home Depot life-size animated horse like I do, then a Headless Horseman prop is kind of a must-have to go with that. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and bye.